All right. I was going to do appointment setting, and then me and Alyssa ran into something that we had to handle in the morning. So I'm sorry about being late. The I do want to go over some things with you guys, like mortgage protection. However, I really I wanted more people on here than are on here. I don't know if people started getting on at 9 and I wasn't there, so I feel bad about that. I'd like to try to get a hold of these people while we're doing this. If you guys can just give me a moment so I can send a text out to these guys and make sure that they're on this thing. Just want to give them a fair shot at being on this too. But I do have some fantastic strategies that I put together that I want to go over with you guys. Let me see. So Rob, what are you doing, buddy? You getting ready? The warrior is ready, man. Let's see here. Let them know that
I'm getting my dials in, Jay.
nice. How many leads did you get?
This was the 20 from the final expense from IBB. Should have another 40 coming from One Life, and our one friend that we made last week, was it Yaze? He says my order's complete and should get submitted today.
You say how long it would take?
Well, he said submitted, so I guess I'm not sure. He didn't go over the whole details of payment, but I'm sure it's just an email upload if it's anything like the IBB leads.
And noted you had done the same too, right, Bub?
I ordered 20 from the one guy and 20 from the other. Rob's is getting it's done first, and then I'll get mine from Azor, and the other one from Alma's.
Oh, okay.
Working on those for me now, but he wanted to go through Western Union, and by the time I got done, I thought I was giving the Taliban money.
Oh man, I'm sorry. You know, it's all new, and they are a new company, but they're really nice guys and everything. And the great part about it is that we can adjust things, so I can get their script and adjust it for them. And not a lot of companies let you do that. So it's sorry about what sometimes we got to go through bullshit.
Well, I had a heck of a time with Hamas because Western Union now requires the full address, the street address, postal code.
Right?
And I went through like 10 different emails with Hamas to get the street address.
Shit.
Hey, Jay, I'm going to tune in and out. I'm going to try and make some calls. I'm going to try to get something for tomorrow afternoon.
What are you doing?
I'm dialing. I'll be on video listening slowly, but I'm just going to mute out for a bit.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead, buddy. All right. Now. Hold on a second, guys. Okay, man. I gotta get started. Sorry for the wait, man. I was trying to get this all together and running into things like left and right, man. Okay, so let me get the eraser here. I am sorry for being so unprepared today. It's really, really whacked. Eraser, there it is. All right, you know, and I try to tell these guys that, you know, are out there on this team, they're all making money, and I got, you know, partners that, I don't know, is everybody, hey, who's on? I'm gonna see who's on. Rob Noden. I'm gonna go over, I wanted to go over mortgage protection and do a sale that I did in a home. But I don't know. Noden, are you getting more, you're just getting final expense leads, right?
Yeah, right at the moment, you know, I can do the mortgage protection, but I'm just getting the final expenses.
Okay. Let's see. Rob, you are doing final expense though. Hold on one second, guys. All right. I guess with final expense sales, you know, one of the first things you have to concentrate on and get down pat is that script. You know, even if Heather and you were working together, I think now know them, which is good. But Heather, when you're setting these final expense leads, just don't forget a couple things that we don't want to leave out, which is, you know, you don't want the one-leggers, of course, so make sure that they're solid sets and really try to get them to write this stuff down to confirm it and try to get, you know, use the script that confirms it several times. So, you know, when you're on the phone, you can actually hear, you can tell them several times the date and time that you'll be there. That way they're there. So if you can get it in like 4 different times, you know, hey, Mrs. Jones, I'm doing a follow-up call to the call that you received yesterday on that final expense information. I'm the guy that handles that area. I'm the rep that handles that area. I'll be in your area tomorrow at 1 p.m. Does that work for you? Yeah, that works for me. Okay, great. Are you married? So I want to know if they have a significant other. If they're not married, I want to make sure that they have you know, somebody that helps them make important decisions, or somebody that's, you can go to the third one's the beneficiary. So you got 3 ways not to get a one-legger. Beyond that, we want to make sure that we repeat that again and say, okay, Mrs. Jones, you get a pen and paper out, write this down. My name is Jason. I'm the rep that handles that area. I'll be in your area tomorrow at 1 p.m. I'll see you and Mr. Jones tomorrow at 1 p.m. Can you write that down? I'm writing that down in my schedule. So make sure it's solid, Heather, okay? And when you get into the sales position, when you get to the door, make sure when you drive up, get into the driveway, get your stuff, get out of the car immediately. Don't take too much time in the car. Don't be talking in your driveway and shit like that. Go right to the door, get your smile on, get your game face on, and have a strategy. Strategy 1 is getting to the door, you know, just getting there, making sure that they're there. Number 2, seating. So again, make sure when you go in note and Rob and Heather that, you know, you get that seating down. It's important. So this is usually me and this is them. I don't like them like this, okay? This is like, if this table's smaller, it can be like this. If this table's large and you got somebody way over here, and guys, don't be afraid to ask them to turn the TV off. You know, would you mind to turn the TV off? I just had a fight for a shit with a guy said he has plenty of coverage. If he has plenty of coverage, man, you know, you could tell him, here's what I say, 9 times out of 10, I can get you more for less. I'm a broker. I got a lot of options. I've been doing this for years, man. Why don't you just take a look at it? I'm already in your area. It's not gonna, you know, so Rob, if you run into that, just try that language 9 times out of 10, okay? So in the seating position, you got circular tables. That one's easy. You can get this here. They can still be across from each other. So in this situation, it's okay to have them in this area here on a circular table. So make sure you take control of that seating. It's very important to take control of the seating. I know it sounds like a stupid thing, but it really is important. From that position there, you're at the table, you lay out your paper, and you have a pen. So this is a pen. This is paper. This is blank for now, guys. So, Rob, we should develop some things as we go along to help these guys in the house. I know you got some drawings. I know. We got to put that in form so they can use it in the house. So me and Rob are creating some things so when you guys go into the house, you'll be able to sit down with them and note the finances and pull the money out. So noting, Rob, Heather, when you're walking in and you talk about the, hey, Mrs. Jones, how you guys doing? Great. I'm here to handle the give you guys some information, and I know you had requested, so I'm going to handle this right now. So you guys are still working, or you currently are? I confirm. Oh, here's what we do: confirm age. It gets the conversation going. Start with confirming the age, okay? When you confirm the age, you can get into other things like, let me see how I'm going to put this. With final expense is a little different because I'm so used to mortgage protection. I'm going to do a final expense. Let's go into this here. Names and ages. Put the name and age. Okay, I'm going to get you the information, but I need to ask you guys a couple questions. I want to get you the right product and make sure it lasts for till death do you part. So out of the two of you, who earns the two of the higher Social Securities? And the reason I'm asking is because that's one of the first things that the significant other loses. So not only do we want to take care of final expenses like funerals and cremations, we also want you to be aware of things like the mortgage, the bills that are being left behind too. So this is how in final expense, you can actually turn it into slightly a mortgage protection sale in a way, you know, and this is why you get more premium out of it. So if you talk about the mortgage, you talk about the life insurance and the funerals. I mean, I meant funerals, cremation, things like that. And ask them, you know, what the hell they are deciding to do. And if they get the price, do any of you know the price of funerals and cremations today? It's good to know that stuff. You know, funerals across the board are at least $10,000 for a nice one. And, you know, don't let anybody fool you. Cremations can be that number too. So if you have a client telling you that he can get it done for $800, immediately you go into, Mr. Jones, that might be $800 today, and that might be a deal, but you don't plan on going anytime soon, do you? So, you know, we're talking 10, 15, 20 years from now, it will not be $800, buddy, anymore. So, you know, that's where you change that up and get him involved in seeing larger numbers. With this layout, out of the two of you, who has the two of the higher Social Securities? Because one of you is going to be left without that, and one of you is going to get the larger of the two. So I ask that because also I want you guys to be aware that it takes 6 to 12 months. This is worst case scenario. This is best for Mrs. Jones to receive that Social Security income. So that's very important process because this is giving you numbers. Here's $1,500 a month in Social Security. Here's $1,300. This is Mrs. Jones. This is Mr. 62 years old, 62 years old. We got 1,500 here. That's going to be hers. It's going to take 6 to 12 months. This is good because this is a void in time that they need money at. So you got that as a way to convince them that there is money necessary, and they may have not seen that in their vision of death and final expenses. So make sure you do the Social Security part. On top of this, we're going to move into, okay, Mrs. Jones, you know, I have this sheet here, and you know, the bills are still due. You know, what I'd like to do is I'd like to see what you have left over at the end after all your bills are paid. So roughly, is your light bill averaging in this area about $100 a month? And you know, you're still, well, significant other, if God forbid something happened to you today, Mr. Jones, would Mrs. Jones still have a car payment? And car insurance is due roughly $50 to $100 a week in food. And do you guys have to pay for health care too? So if you have health care you have to pay for, we have to be aware of that. And is this have gas? The house have gas in it, because gas can be expensive in the winter up north for heating. There's gas in the car. Who takes care of the maintenance? The maintenance around the house. Do you have to pay for that, or is that in your HOH? Things in that order have to be taken care of to get to the bottom line, which is the end result of the bills, which means you have found what is going out, and you're also to find what's coming in. Mr. Jones, I have to rewind now. Mr. Jones, you have the two of the higher Social Securities. Yours is $1,500. Mrs. Jones is $1,300. So obviously she's going to receive yours. But are you leaving her anything else? Like, do you have any stock-based products or 401ks or anything like that? Is there anything you'll be leaving behind above and beyond that? And this is where you can find the stock-based products, guys. So give me 1 second, guys. Hold on. I got to turn this fan on in this room. It's too damn hot. Okay, sorry. So the Social Security is going to come to Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones, you have any pensions or 401ks? Let's say he has a 401k. You know, what's that valued at for her? What will she receive? So that's a little different than saying how much is in it. So I want him to know I'm not really prying. I just want to figure out what Mrs. Jones is left with when he's no longer here. So we can get this figured out. Now, the final expense is a little different than mortgage protection because it may be on both of them or it may be on one. We have to figure out which one they're trying to protect here. But this 401k is important because you sell a 401k, you know, you never know. It could have $100,000. As Rob seen the very first day we went out, we ran into two annuities. So we had one for $160,000 and then we had one for $23,000. And on top of that week, I found one for $600,000 too, using the same process. So that's, you know, plus that's basically puts us at $100,000 a month, to be honest with you guys, in ALP. So 3 annuities in 1 week, there's a hat trick, huh? So at the end of this thing, we know what's going out. We know what's coming in. We know what's left over. Why do we need to know what's left over? Because that's the money that they have left to spend on this final expense. At the end of the month, you can shorten this up too, guys. You can go through the bills or you can shorten it up and ask them, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, you can simplify it by this. Do you have roughly $500 to $1,000 left over after you pay all your bills off at the end of the month? And well, it's, yeah, we have roughly that. Well, which one? Is it 500? Is it 500? Is it like 250 or 500, which one is it closer to? And I go lower too to figure it out. So I know that roughly 300 bucks a month is left over in this scenario, okay? So this is the number that I'm basing my product on. At most, I could probably go $100 to $150 for this product, unless it's two. So this is what they should be investing at that age anyway. What products would I use? Well, me personally, even with final expense, I would do index universal life products with them if they're healthy and work my way backwards to final expense products, you know? See what I'm missing. The 401k, you want to leave that alone until this is kind of ended, but you have an idea. This 401k can do the job of this too. So remember that this 401k becomes a life insurance product if you can annuitize it for them. You can base that, get them out of this situation if they can't afford this, and then the 401k becomes something that they can use to cover the final arrangements. And it, by this Guggenheim that we have, guys, by the way, that's 600 grand that I have the stuff in that one. It shows the layout, it shows the printout of being over $1 million in 10 years. So it doubles your money every 10 years. So when you run into a 401k, just bluntly tell them, for the last 20 years, if you were with this product that I'm about to show you, you would have doubled your money every 10 years, and I can prove it, okay? So this is a lot. I mean, this is like, you know, I flow with this in the house. It's mine. It's kind of easy for me to do. You guys really need to get a style or something like that, and I'm just giving you hints on what to do inside the house so you guys can become better reps inside the house and come up with your own system possibly to sell final expense. Final expense is a huge market, so don't think that you're not in an enormous market just because you're not in mortgage protection. This is a monster, man. People need this stuff, whether it's a $30 app to a $300 app. But the difference between these two is how you present the value of the product. So if you bring extreme value, you're going to get the $300 mark. If you don't, and you're just selling death and cremation, you'll get 30 bucks. You know? So you also want to make sure that you're in the product that is kind of like balanced out so nobody can come in and replace it also. So be aware of your products. And over time, you'll get wisdom as you keep going into houses about the products and which one you should be basically use. So in many situations, I start with the index products. I teach them how to overfund it. Over the years, I show them the cash value. Remember, there's the GUL. There's the LSW product. There's Mutual of Omaha, which you would use next. If you can't get them into this or this, if you guys want to sell index universal life, just use the GUL, you know, if you don't have LSW yet. So call Mutual of Omaha and get this figured out. Have all the materials that you guys need to make sure you guys have folders and things like that too. You have LSW, you have Mutual of Omaha for final expense. So if this doesn't work and this doesn't work, you want to go to this. If that doesn't work for whatever reason, you know, prosperity is a good look. And you really have to take your time and understand this. You can be fast at this if you got all the apps on your phone or you got a laptop. While you're talking to them, sometimes you can do the numbers also. You can fade off a little bit and do the numbers. You can let them know that while we're talking, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, I'm trying to figure out your numbers here too, so I can get you the lowest premium for the highest payout. You know, prosperity is good too, so a lot of people like that. Prosperity. AMAM, I can't remember in many situations why we used AMAM, but I think it's because maybe it's because of depression, anxiety, stuff like that, schizophrenia. I don't think that they take that into play on the app. So if you run into that situation, I have to ask Alyssa that, but check your apps out and your questions. This is the lowest premium. This is a great premium. This is a great cash value builder along with high face amounts. This does a great job. This is at 3%. This is at 7.14% to 12.5% annually, and it's been that way for like 23 years or something like that. The Mutual of Omaha final expense is also 3%. Why am I showing you this? Because this is value to their money. I want you to start selling on the fact that this has cash value. Be sure and be aware that you inform them that when they make a payment, it's not just going into the ether, that there is cash value. And I'll tell you why this is important. If I have Mr. Jones here, and I have Mrs. Jones here, this policy is on him. So this payout's $20,000. 10 years goes by. Mrs. Jones passes away. Mr. Jones takes the cash out. Did you get that? That's like two policies in one. So over the years, this sucker builds cash value. If God forbid something happens to her, all he's going to do is stop making the payments on it, unless he wants to leave it to the kids or grandkids, and he'll have the cash value to take care of her scenario. So you make sure that you explain that's value. So when I put money in, I can be aware of the fact that it's earning interest on my money. I can take loans from it. I also, if Mrs. Jones does die in the future, I can take the cash out. I don't need to pay for it anymore. And if, God forbid, I die, it pays me $20,000. Now, accelerated death benefits are also good to mention also. That means if you have 12 months to live, that the cash is yours while you're still alive. So God forbid if a doctor or somebody says that it's physician says that you have 12 months to live, the face amount is yours while you're alive. Very, very cool, man. All right, take a break for 1 second. I got to get a drink here. All right. Let's see here. What is noted? When you go into a house, do you do it that way, or do you do it a different way, or what do you do when you're inside the house? I mean, is it similar to this when you're selling final expense, or you've been out of the game for a while, so you haven't done it on a regular basis? But when you were doing it, do you remember how you were selling it at all?
Yeah, I would go in and get the seating correct.
Mm-hmm.
I won't sit in a living room. I'll sit at a table.
There you go, right.
Okay. There's a lot of people say, well, we can sit here. And I says, well, I've got things I need to spread out. So can we sit at a table where I can, go over this stuff? And basically ask them the questions of, how much do you have? What are you doing? Where are you going with it? What kind of funeral are you looking towards?
Right.
Whether it be cremation, burial, have you bought the plot? Have you done this? Have you done that?
Right.
Because by buying the plot, if you already have it, 10,000 would probably cover it.
Yeah.
But if you don't have the plot, then you're going to have to buy a plot, and
Right.
It's going to add up the costs.
And when you're doing that, just make sure when you guys are doing, and that's great. I want you guys just to remember that they're visual though. So when you're talking that, come up with value that they have to come up with, meaning that plot, is that's $2,000, or something like that. And when you draw it out, they can visually see the hole in their head, in their mind and stuff like that.
Well, when I first start out, I pull out my clipboard.
Okay. All right.
Okay, and then I write their name, their age, put that information down on the clipboard, and I go through it, the clipboard, and I have it positioned so that she can see what I'm doing, or he. And we go through all that, the process of, the expenses and that, what they have left, and, what they're looking at trying to do. Are you trying to, leave something for your relatives? You're taking care of yourself? What is your purpose?
Right. No, right. That need. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's huge. The need. So if you find that and you bring value, you know what I mean? And the need
And
is.
then, once I determine what they're, how much, what they can afford, then I look at the different types of products.
Right.
Because like you said, LSW is more expensive than a GUL.
Right.
The one at 53 was for 100,000 was about $40 a month difference between Omaha, Mutual of Omaha, and the LSW product.
Hey, make sure that you guys also get AIG. This thing is killing me out in the field on graded products. I had a deal that was like $450 a month for $25,000, and I did it with Prosperity. This dude came in with AIG, same price, same amount, for $150 less, same product. So this AIG, and that's happened twice to me, and that's a hard chargeback, man. Luckily, I have money, so it's not that bad for me, But it's tough to take that hit because I didn't have this damn product. It's really terrible. But yeah, like you said, bringing that need in is just absolutely necessary. And I'm going to tell you something too, guys. 9 times out of 10, they have an idea what that word means to them, but they don't see the whole picture. And that's why you guys have to paint the entire picture for you. You know what I tell people? I tell them, look, guys, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, if I wasn't the worst case scenario, guys, if I wasn't the worst case scenario guy, I wouldn't be doing you any benefits at all doing this presentation for you guys, because you have to understand what I see when I'm out in the field. And I explain to them what I see. Well, I don't see it much, but clients talking to me about their nightmares and things like that. And people that don't have it, they really have to come up with the cash. And if people have money now, like my kids, you may run into this. My children had plenty of money. They said, don't worry about it. I'll get it taken care of. They'll pay cash for it. The problem is with that is the fact that the kids 20 years from now may be in the same damn situation you're in, Mrs. Jones. You don't know what their financial situation is. Why do you want to burden them so much? Well, you know what you do? That's through me. If you guys want, I want you to have AIG. So we have to do contracting, I guess, through, I'll have to get Alyssa on that. If you can send Alyssa a text, everybody, like now or today or something, and make sure that she knows that you're getting AIG, because it's important. Look, final expense is a great market because the people are fairly decent. I mean, they got like, the income average, is like $40,000 if you're lucky. It's like $25,000 a year, and you can walk into those places that make about $10,000 a year. That this is a wash 9 times out of 10, or it's a very low premium. Get them $3,000 here. You get this one $5,000 to 10. You get this person 20 to 50,000. So, like, literally, if you know their incomes, you know that these are usually the numbers that end up falling in your lap. These people are easier to work with. I'll tell you what, if they are $100,000 or above, it can be a son of a bitch to work with people with money. That really is. Or people that have a lot of stock-based products or financial advisors. They're imbeciles. They just really, I don't know how people can't meet their financial advisor. They barely know them, but they worship the ground they walk on. CPAs and shit. What else can we go? Oh, if you did run into the 401k, you know, when you pull this out in your sales presentation, out of the two of you, who has the two of the higher Social Securities? And the reason I'm asking is because that's what the significant other is going to be left with. And just so you guys know, so if you're not aware of it, that takes about 6 to 12 months for Mrs. Jones to receive that. So, Mr. Jones, do you happen to have anything else that you'll be leaving behind for Mrs. Jones? So I said, a 401k, 403b, stock-based products, or a pension. Yeah, I have a 401k. Okay, what would she receive if, God forbid, something happened to you out of that 401k? You know, 150,000 bucks is in there. Oh, that's fantastic. Reward them. That's a great job, man. And now you're not being matched on that no more, right? Say this word. It gets them influenced by the fact that they're not making as much money as they used to on this product anymore. So they're not being matched anymore with this product. So you know what I'd like to do? Everybody, the new 401k, by the way, is an indexing system where you don't participate in the downsides of the market. You participate in about 8% annually, and it outperforms your 401k. So I'd like to do a print up and an illustration to show you how this number will double every 10 years. And its proof is in the illustration. It'll show you for the past 20 to 30 years that your numbers would have doubled if you were with this indexed annuity product. So what I'd like to do is do an illustration there. Do you guys happen to have a computer? I literally do the printout on their computer. So remember, don't be afraid to ask them, do you guys happen to have a computer? Yes. Does it have a printer? Yeah. Okay, would you mind if I use that? I'm going to do an illustration for you guys. And just so you have this and you understand all your options today, let's do a printout of this $150,000 to show you what it looks like. And then in the meantime, we'll get this final expense wrapped up. Call Athene, call Guggenheim. If you guys aren't with these guys, and I know the contract has been standstill for now, but we need to get you a annuity contracting done. Because eventually with this system that we teach here, you're going to run into an indexed annuity eventually. Let's see. Am I missing something here? Are you guys, let me see something. Okay. So what else do we, for 401k, call Athene, you got to get your apps too. They are very large apps. I mean, we must do a webinar on these apps. Rob, you see how thick the fucking app is, like that thick for annuities. It can be absolutely absurd. There's a lot of signatures and it is, it's tough, man. You have to get that policy in front of you. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. That ran out of juice, man. All right, that one's done. So, Heather, did you leave? You still there, bud?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. All right. So, yeah. Heather, if you're, I guess the leads will come this week, and you'll be able to get cranked up on that. So, if my advice to you, Noden, you got these leads coming in now, man, get out there and do your job. But at the same time, don't stop the order, keep it coming in, keep her busy, and you will be in front of people because you need that practice. You need to get into the houses and start failing almost, guys, because it's not like you can't sell. It's just that it's new. You got to get adjusted a little bit, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like driving a new car. It's a trip, man. It really is. But you know what? Have a good time with them. These people are harmless 9 times out of 10. And the one thing you do need to be, though, is you do need to be the guy who's educating. You need to be the individual or woman who's educating these individuals on money, final expenses, funerals, taxes, income for life, inflation, cash value, things like that. If you get all this into your system, your sales system, you can educate the hell out of people and really get them to see value in this. Because all of this is a piece of the puzzle that they may not be aware of in the need, because they think you're coming in just to give them a damn price on, some $10,000 deal, and then you become this rip-roaring educator who teaches them about everything that they really need to know, because this is doing the job. Just going in there and selling my first couple apps, like with Lincoln Heritage or something like that, or Senior Life, whoever I was with, American Income, I would go in and literally just focus on the numbers, throw 3 numbers down and build no value whatsoever, and it was terrible. But you have to be real lucky to make money that way. So you guys have any questions so far? Hey, Heather?
Yes.
You there?
Yeah. I'm here.
Heather, you on there, buddy?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Why? I can't. Heather, can you unmute yourself, bud?
I
Hey,
did.
let me ask Rob. Rob, do you have, can we hear your script that you're using for your appointment setting? Do you have something?
Yeah, 1 second. Let me see what paper I'm on here. Yeah, this is final expense tele lead. Hello, Karen. My name's Rob Lofthouse, the broker that handles your area.
Rob, I can't hear you. You're muted out. No? Hold on. Go ahead, bud. It was me.
How about this? Okay. You got me now?
Yeah, I got you.
All right. Final expense tele lead. Hello, Karen. My name's Rob Lofthouse, the broker that handles your area. I have some information you requested on my desk on final expense. Is it okay if I verify this information with you? Great. Yeah, I have your address as, your name as, your age as, the amount as, the beneficiary as, your favorite color is, and we go from there, and they agree. So from there we go, I might say, most people like to set up a small policy to provide, not only death benefits, but living benefits as well, because this is something that's important to you. Try to get a yes out of them. Is this coverage for you or for a loved one? And then ask, is there a person that helps you with important decisions? And then from there, I go and say, there's only one thing left to do is to schedule a time for me and you to bring some information and go over rates with only top A-rated companies. Is 10 o'clock on Tuesday go with you?
Yeah.
Great. Can you please do me a favor and grab a pen and piece of paper? I'm going to write this appointment down on my calendar. Can you write down that I'll be there Tuesday at 10 o'clock and confirm the address? Ask about the address being on a box or a mailbox.
Right.
Great. I'll see you Tuesday at 10 o'clock.
Okay, yeah, that's cool, man. That's good. And just can you confirm that as many times as you can confirm the time and date? Just do it. Don't be afraid of that.
It's lots of times, in between conversation, something might come up and, they might say, hey, or to talk about whatever is happening or I can't be there. Well,
Yes.
or anytime after every sentence towards the end, and we already talked about a date and time,
Yeah.
I'm reconfirming that date and time.
Okay, got it. Yeah, that's right. That's exactly what you want to do. Kind of in between. That was a good script, man. That's good. Got them to write it down. You got them there. Did you say, is there a significant other there?
Yeah, I asked them if there was going to be someone to help them with it because, hey, you remember that one house? We didn't know who's the Mr. and who's the Mrs.
Oh, right. Butch and Butch.
Right. So
when I
I
go
figured I'd avoid that by asking if there was somebody there that would help them make important decisions. But I probably should say, is there a significant other? So
well, I start there, Rob, and then I go into the other one.
go the other way. All right, I'll put it in.
Well, I'll tell you what. One, that's leaving open three ways. Remember, if they don't have a significant other, is there anybody that helps you make important decisions, or do you want the beneficiary there to help you with this? So that gives you three options for not getting a one leg. So it's a lot better that way. Let's see here. Where can we go with this? When you're seated with these people, be sure that you're human, you're humorous, you're educating, and you have control. You get the right answers out of these people. Don't ask stupid questions that get them influenced to do the wrong things. And, I think when you get practice, there's certain times to like pull the trigger and just like, get the app out and really start writing it. In a way, guys, it's called assuming the sale. Just kind of like get the app out, start writing it, and, asking them the health questions is a part of the deal. It's very important that you understand what I'm about to say. When you go through the health questions and they answer them, they have to do it on the phone again too. I skim through the health questions. I speed it up a little bit. You have a heart failure, major stuff. Can I see your medications? When you get to the point of you got to get them on the phone. Say, Mrs. Jones, I need to do. We're going to qualify. I'm going to see if I can get you even less expensive rates here. So what I need to do is I'm going to do a telephone interview with the company. Will ask you the same questions that are on here. Okay, it's going to take a minute or two, and that'll qualify, and that'll let me know exactly what number I need to get for you. So I'm going to call them, get you on the phone, and I write down on a sheet of paper right in front of them. You need to do this. In front of them, you need to write yes or no. This is all there to say on that fucking phone call. Okay, they can't say, I had congestive heart failure 15 years ago, though, So make sure it's yes or no. Write it down, slide it in front of them, and coach them through each question. Also, put the date down because they asked the date today, like the date it is, and people screw that up. That one guy recently, I did one, he said it was frickin' 1/19 of 2012. They think they're goofy. They will take that into consideration. And then remember, you cannot coach them and have the influence that around the house that nobody can help him when he's doing this. Very important. Nobody can help him. On a piece of paper, you got yes or no. As he's going through, you point to no, 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 no. And get the date up there. 2/3/2018, because when they ask, it'll already be there for them. That's important stuff, man, right there. That'll help you out big time. What else we missing, man? What else we missing here, man? you know, it's really about what I need is for you guys to get into the home so I can hear what happened. And then I can just advise you on what to do in those scenarios. You know what I mean? And believe me, guys, there's always a way. Remember, I don't want you to believe that the first objection is the objection. It is not the real objection, okay? So keep your ass planted and review whatever you got to go over again. You missed something. Something's not clicking with them. You understand? So if something's not clicking with them, there's not enough value for them to buy it yet. We have to get this word implanted into your mind and then into theirs. You must bring value to the table, man. Got to do it. There's got to be, you know, the biggest value I think is one, it's going to help their family in the end, of course. But two, it's earning interest. You know, so they're paying on something that has a savings account. They also have, you know, the ability to use this two ways. So if it's on Mr. Jones and he dies, Mrs. Jones, you get the big number. If you die before Mr. Jones, he takes the savings account money out. And that's a really big deal, man. It's huge. You guys got any questions? You know, I just don't understand people. I'm trying to train people, and I really, you know, I can guarantee you if I got these teams on here that I'd have, that their numbers would double. But they just don't listen to come on to these webinars, man. So, you know, and another thing is when you have a team, like there's going to be your reps are going to have opportunity with other carriers. They're going to get hit up on Facebook and things like that. When that happens, we need to be able to bring reps value, which is this shit here, man. And if they don't have that, so they will never leave, because you can make more money doing it with this kind of style of training every single week and practicing on your own at 100% contract level than you can going somewhere that has garbage leads, no training, at 140%. So just make sure that your reps always know that there's value here and they're not skipping around trying to find living on contract levels, you know. It's very important, man. So I think that's it, man. I guess that's about it. Unless you guys have any questions, I can't think of much else to say about, you know, final expense is just a practice. Practice it, man. Make sure everybody texts Alyssa about AIG, please. And let's get annuity contracting through too. You're going to need it. You guys are going to need Guggenheim, Athene. Those two are about it. You probably need Equitrust too. And what else do we need? Rob, let's finish out that paperwork so they can have it in the house. Is there any way you can put that stuff on computer, or let me look at it with you? Me and you can do a webinar together just to get it straightened out, and then we can make it computerized. AIG is easy to write up. Yeah, I know, and they're cheap, Jeremy, too, man. They're a great product. I have to get them. I'm getting killed by them, man. But
yeah, Jay, I'll try to do what I have here and make it neater. I've seen some things that'll take a nice picture scan of it.
right.
Maybe do it that way. Earlier this week, I was speaking to a guy that made videos, you know, the animated ones that you see, you know, with stuff written down. Waiting for him to call me back.
Oh, cool.
So some of that stuff will hopefully happen soon.
Well, I would like to find, I started a YouTube page, and I found out that these videos have been being recorded for like 9 months now. There's a ton of videos in here, man. Right. I would load YouTube up with this stuff for recruiting reasons. Anybody that I feel is ready for recruiting, I want to feel it. You know, you'll know when you're ready, and you have to get it down pat before you can start hiring people. You all can take on like one rep, you know what I mean? But don't try to exceed that, because it takes practice there too. But I'm going to get ZipRecruiter turned back on and start finding some resumes. And if you guys need resumes, I can share some with you in your area sometimes. Once a week, I can run your area for you or something like that. Anything else, guys? Anybody got something to say, bringing some value to the table? Jeremy, unbelievable. If we could just get your team on there now too, dude, we'd be
I know, man. They have trouble. They have trouble with mornings.
I got you. They're gonna have trouble.
I did want to.
Go ahead.
I did want to say something about final expense this week. My close ratio was 90%.
Wow.
This week with final expense. What I found though is if you just assume the sale when you go in, and just assume you're gonna write them up. Don't even like have any questions. Don't even ask questions about it.
Yeah.
Just go through the motions like you're gonna sign them up.
Yep.
It won't stop you.
Really?
They know why you're there.
Yeah.
They filled out the form.
Now, how do the question I would have though is this word here, the value, to get larger premiums out of people, there has to be a way to do this. So how are you doing this?
So first thing I do is, I'm obligated to show you the highest amount that you can qualify for. So I put down, whatever carrier that is. If it's Prosperity, I'll show them 35,000 with the accidental, and show them that amount, and then say, so this is the most that you can qualify for. Does this fit within your budget? So, and they'll usually come back and say, well, I want something more around maybe like $100 or $200.
Yes. And mine's different than his because I'm trying to get to the final number. You know what I mean? That's what out of the two of you who has the two higher Social Securities, Mr. Jones, and the reason I'm asking because Mr. Jones is going to be left with that. And then I'm putting that void in there. It takes 6 to 12 months to get that for her. So there's time that she's just going to be living on her Social Security. Do you leaving her anything else, which gets the 401? Are you leaving her anything else too? Because, is like, do you have a 401k or anything? Do you have a pension that she'll receive? So I know now that the 401k is there. So, what I'm doing, Jeremy, is I'm trying to, you don't really have to go through all the bills. I mean, I do have a sheet that goes through each bill and we kind of write that down so they understand. But at the end of the day, you could also just say, hey, Mrs. Jones, what's left over? Is it $500, $200 at the end of the month? And then I base it upon that number of what I'm capable of doing for them too. So it's the same thing you're doing. It's just
I think it depends on the situation. Like if you're with like a widow or just a single lady that's just protecting her kids.
Well, as soon as you know that, she's like, hey, how much you got coming in? $60 a month. You can look around and say, okay, I know what the bills could cost.
Right.
So just find out, get close to what is the number is at the end, because if I say, is there $500 to $1,000 left over a month? Oh, I definitely have $1,000 left over a month. That's no problem. Okay, no problem. I know in my mind I'm shooting for $300, $100 apps, things like that. But I'm bringing this word to the table, value, to do a couple things. The reason I do it this way, guys, is because it does a couple things. It shows them the void in time Mrs. Jones is going to have for Social Security. It tells them about her receiving Social Security. But it fishes out the stock-based products and pensions and 401ks because I'm asking Mr. Jones, what else is Mrs. Jones going to be left with? I'm not saying, do you have pension, do you have 401k? I'm saying, what else is she going to be left with? Such as 401k. Does she have, okay, great. And approximately, here's what I say about the bank account. Approximately, do you have above or below $5,000 in the bank that she would receive too? Some people, I've had literally people tell me that you wouldn't believe that he had $600,000 in the bank. Now, he didn't start there. I'm like, so you have above 5,000? He's like, yeah. So I go to 10. Then I just jump to 50. I go to 100. And keep going. He's up there 600 grand. So there was another annuity. You know what I'm saying? So you got to fish this stuff out because you never know what's in the bank account, savings account too, guys. That's great, Jeremy, what you said. The value is what we need to build, okay? And Jeremy, before you were on here, I don't know if you got that, but I also stated that we need to build value for our reps too. And what we're doing here is value. If they would see it and use it, these guys on here know the value because they use it, man. There's people on here that weren't selling before that sell. I don't know where everybody is these days on this thing. People are getting lazy and just not coming on. I used to have like 30 people on here one time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't understand it. It's really,
Holidays, man.
yeah, but you know what? It's like I'm taking my time out to show you guys how I did $100,000 in January. You know what I mean? I would want to listen to the guy that did 100 grand in January. Rob was there. He witnessed some of the money that I earned. You know, we got $40,000 in ALP plus the annuity sales. That brings us to $100,000 in earnings, guys, in one freaking month. The first month in January. I am not bragging about them. I can surprise myself it's that way. But it's due to the strategy of pulling the 401ks out of people. Because I found a $600,000 annuity. I found a $160,000 annuity, which Rob was there for. And he also seen me the very same day, he seen me find a $23,000 annuity to the two girlfriends.
Hey Jay, it looked very doable. I mean, it didn't seem like with you and Alyssa, a team, it went like smooth as pie.
Yeah.
I was like, man, this should almost be happening like every time. Every time you see a situation and you're pulling out the what's available. I'm like, well, wait a minute. You know what's happening here with the market going up and down. As soon as they say at this age, like, I'm done with that. We're not going to be doing this anymore. Let's try to get fixed.
Your biggest words you could say is you will not participate in the downsides of the market anymore. Right. You are done. You have to save what you have. You have $160,000. You cannot lose that money. If you lose 30% of that, that takes you to what, $119,000 or something? You can't do it. So, Mrs. Jones, look at this. Look at this. We did a print up. Did we not run to Staples to go get the print up too?
Yeah, 70.
The computer didn't work, so I'll drive to go get the print up to Staples. And then I drive the illustration back to show her what her $160,000 looks like in 10 years with no downsides. So it was incredible because I just took Rob out for the first time in the field and he got to see that. Not a lot of people get to see that. And that was great for him. And he now knows that it's possible. I'm telling you guys, I've sold a lot of annuities. I was 27 last year, 22 the year before, 30 or something. I don't know, but a lot. But they're not, like, a lot of them aren't big either, too. I get some small ones, too, here and there. But a lot of them, some of them have been big. That's how I got to Florida on one. I sold 3 annuities in one day one time. I had the owner fly in to do 3 annuities in one day. Jeff Birch flew in to do it. So, look, that's it, man. This is bringing value to the table. It's also fishing out the funds that they have so you don't do small sales is basically why I do it this way. And you get very large premiums out of people. It's an incredible strategy. Trust me, if you use it, it'll work.
Hey, Jay, I would say, everything that you've been writing on that whiteboard for the past couple of weeks is pretty much everything I seen, sitting with you in the list of that day. Right. And every piece just showed illustrations. It wasn't just going in one ear, out the other of the clients you're meeting. They're like visually like saying it. And I'm like, well, this is, that's everything. Yep. So he's right on. Let's do it.
Thank you very much. And that's important. That's you hit it on the nail on the head. What I decided to do was paint the picture for them, literally drawing it out. How many pages did I have? I went through sheets of paper. Like there's 20 sheets of paper I'm scribbling shit on. Look how many times I erase this board. That's how many times I write in a home. Alyssa has to sometimes give me more paper out of the car. So, it works well, though, illustrating all the value. So remember the word value, and you should have no problem, man. And people generally filled the card out. Can you imagine if you were there when they were filling the card out? Like, you could talk to them at that point when, So we have to bring that need, that feeling that they had when they were filling the card out. I can get $15,000 in life insurance. That's exciting. I'm going to fill this card out. Bring that back to them, man. If you can be entertaining to them, you can be serious with them. I do a little both. because some people can be clowns and just stupid about the way they talk about this scenario that's going to be real for them one day. And do not forget, if you want to sell high deals, inflation.
Mm-hmm.
So you bring the word inflation in, and they have a level income, and there's taxes, and there's inflation. You have the ability to show them just through this 4% a year on average with a level income. You know, the 401k will help you deflect this. When other people are starving, Mrs. Jones, you'll be living the high life. And the final expense, keep the leads coming in. Guys, I tell you, if you want to make money, man, you have to trust me when I tell you, just please take a shot at this and continue to invest. If you got leads in your hand right now, order more leads. If you got leads yesterday, you get them tomorrow, order more leads. Just keep your advertising going. Don't stop, man. And you will sit with more people and the numbers just make sense. You're going to strike out. I'm going to prepare you for that. But the numbers owe you then. So at the point where you're striking out, 3 strikes in a row, you now know that the numbers owe you. You are due one. You know what I mean? You have one coming to you. And just keep that in mind when you're doing this. And if, like I said, Jeremy, or any of you want to begin recruiting Jeremy, I'm going to get my ZipRecruiter cranked back up, and we can start recruiting. But I'm going to tell you right now, if I'm giving recruits to people, they have to be on the fucking webinar. I'm not hiring people who just don't want to do this. I really need, Jeremy has great salespeople, man, and I'm telling you, I've taken guys like him and them and doubled their numbers, and I'm doing them a big favor, and it's just a couple strategies like Jeremy pitched in his 2 cents too, so we're all learning, man. So this thing is great that we're doing every week, you know? So I put these all
We'll get them on. We'll get them on.
Yeah, please.
We'll get them on. They're you get to the point where you're cocky. And,
Jeremy, even if I have to do it another day too, man, or something like that.
Yeah.
So, Jeremy, where are you at?
The country, man.
That's Hickville.
Huh?
That is total country, dude.
That's right. 40 acres, buddy.
40 acres.
Yep.
Where's the quads at?
Where the quad's at? Got a dirt bike right here.
Oh, look. He turns the camera. There's some dirt bikes right there. Look at that riding mower, man. That's sweet. That's nice.
Hey, this is what I got. This is what insurance sales bought me. I've been doing this for 4 or 5 months. I just bought this a few weeks ago.
Wow, look at that, man. That is beautiful. Hold on, let me take a picture of that.
3 or 4 weeks. 3 or 4 weeks of insurance, or 3 or 4 months of insurance.
We're going to get that on Facebook. That's cool. That's cool. Let me see the inside.
Well, it's got all my crap in there right now. But.
I just want to see the inside just real quick. That's beautiful. That's lovely.
Got my desk in there.
Look at that. Now that is an insurance salesman's car right there, ladies and gentlemen. Load the car, be prepared. Look at that back here. Check that out. That is sweet. That's gorgeous. I love it. That's beautiful, man.
I need to get my tags next week. Good.
I'm happy for you, dude. You're amazing. We can really do some things in the future. I'm hoping that everybody's interested in building an organization this year, guys, because I am really, really wanting to get out of the field after this year. I pray to God that you guys are hip with that, man. I would love to take this team and just get a couple people out of the field and start earning on the pens of other people, And all we need to do, guys, is do this every fucking week and get them on here. You can take them out in the field if you want. If you're near them, do that. But let's start doing it off of residual income for life, and let's get some big people in here. So, anybody have anything else to add to this, man?
No, man, just activity. I think just booking 20. I try to book 20 appointments, 25 appointments a week, and I might see 15 of them, and then that's how it rolls over here.
Tell me about your lead order. How do you do your lead order? How many leads do you have a week coming in?
Well, right now I'm just getting about 25 to 30 a week. But I've got like an inventory of leads. So I'll buy, like, when I get short, I'll buy like 100 old mortgage leads.
You buy old ones?
Yep. Oh, I've got my my order, the new one, I haven't yet.
Well, you know what? You're doing a fantastic job. How much money did you make last week?
How much issued or how much submitted?
How much you? But just either one.
I submitted 8,300 last week.
How many days did you work?
3.
Work like 20 hours then.
Yeah. Well, 3 full days.
Yeah, I got it. So
I mean, three 12-hour days. So I mean,
okay, that's final expense. Do you have a lead company that you can share with these guys? That'd be great too. You know.
yeah. The voice leads, I like the American Quality leads. They're good. They kind of take a week to get back to you. The other one is Peak Leads USA.
Peak Leads USA.
Uh-huh. I think they've got specials going on. Like you order 20, you get 2 free. 10% off every now and then. And they're pretty quick as well. They're all those are American callers. They're like $15, $20 a pop, but they're American callers, and they use your name. So like whenever you get the lead, it's like this is John calling from the office of Jeremy Kovitana. We're just letting people know how great the rates are on the new life insurance and final expense plans. So they say life insurance, they say final expense, they say your name like 3 or 4 times on the call. So when you call them back, they're expecting your call. And they ask the favorite color or favorite hobby or favorite TV show. So you use that as a security code.
Okay.
Those are easy to book. And for me, when I book my appointments, I just tell them I'm coming and drop the information off. Take 5 or 10 minutes. I try not to go into like too much detail on the phone when I book the appointment. That's for final expense for me.
Got it.
But I do have no shows, so.
Yeah, right. But you know what? At the end of the day, it's like this again. The numbers always owe you, so that's why he still has fucking close to $10,000 a week issued in there. You know, because he knows the numbers owe him. But he's not afraid of advertising his business, guys, either, man. He really puts the effort to put the billboards up, which is his lead. You know what I mean? He's got everything going on. So I'm telling you right now, if you want to make $10,000 a week, put $500 to $1,000 at this thing. Tell me what you spend a week. What do you spend a week on leads recently?
About 500.
Okay, so that's about what you need to spend, and you're busy, right? It's about what you can handle anyway.
Right.
No?
Yeah.
Hey, Jeremy.
Yep.
I was writing that down. It's what do you have? American Caller and Keep Leads.
American Quality Leads.
Okay.
They're on Facebook too, I think. And then it's Peak Leads USA. They're both they're both telemarketing. Yeah, they're both telemarketing leads, but they use American callers. So, I mean, I'm a fan of the Filipino India one as well, but I find like I have to overcome the objection of are you a scammer with those more than the other ones.
Right.
They're twice as much, but you just got to pick and choose. I think a mix. I honestly think a mix of everything is good because I had those India leads, and I found I found a lady with $200,000 that I could move her money. I mean, she was unhealthy. She was in a wheelchair, heart transplant, but she has $200,000 of annuity money. So you just never know where you're going to find the good stuff. I think you just get a mix of everything.
You're just trying to get as many sits in as you can, and then try to find out what you can pull out of it.
Yeah, and I would order a little from every company because
Mhm.
if you sit with one company, it's going to take them a week or 2 weeks to fill your order. If you've got 3 or 4 orders out there, you've got 3 or 4 companies sending you leads every week.
Right.
That'll fill up your box.
That's what happened to me, this past couple of weeks. I'm expecting, One Life mortgage protection leads that we're doing in February. And now we're into February and I haven't seen them. And now they're like double mailing, the county and out of the county. And then also IIB's leads were like a week overdue.
Yeah.
And also One Life's $11 leads. They said they're double due too. If they were normally 5 to 7 days, they said, well, count on 15. So IBB and One Life might be using the same company. I'm like, what, these guys go on strike? So,
yeah, I would order a little from every company because you have more people working for you now.
True.
And then
Right.
Peak Leads and American Quality Leads allow PayPal, and PayPal has that. If you spend over $100, you do 6 months no interest or whatever.
Nice.
So you don't have to go cash. You can. I mean, it's credit. But
Right.
You can use that and put a big order in and
Right.
pay it as you go.
So if you need credit, you can do it that way.
Okay.
Well, that's good. I mean, that's golden for me. So that I'll put an order in, for one of them or each of them. I got a backlog of leads supposed to be coming in, but you never count on anything.
You're gonna be exactly.
Keep spreading it out.
Yep, exactly. I would go to Mailco too, man. I don't know if you're in Florida. I don't know if all the age leads are all taken or not, but that
For mortgage protection.
Yeah, is it Jason? Is it Mailco or Leadco or something like that? I forget where you can get the old leads at.
Mailco, I believe.
Mailco.
Yeah. Yeah, there's there's $3 mortgage protection leads there too, and the price starts going down as the months go on. Increase how old they are. Those are a great way to get started too, man. Those are just people fumbled the ball. They're not sold. So the $3, you know what I mean? You can't beat that. That's a great place to get the final expense leads too, to get started. And just, what my suggestion is to invest still like you would if you're buying the regular leads. Take $300, $500, invest into the cheaper lead sources. Get your stack of leads, guys. Start piling lead resources up, man. You gotta take advantage of this, while it's hot, man. But that's definitely how I got out of the hole, man. I was struggling with 20 leads, 10 leads, getting hand-me-downs. I said, take the rent money and draw it towards leads, and let's do this, and that's where it broke free. And 2 years later, I'm living in Florida, So 4 months later, Jeremy's buying a BMW. So it changed your life, you know what I mean? It's all good. Now we got to get everybody involved though, man. This duplication thing is very important. And I'd like to see one day you guys hosting or being in front of a group. I would love to be in front of a group teaching this too, at a hotel. But is everybody going to the event in Maryland? It would be fantastic if everybody could go there and represent what we're doing here. That would be great. And I'm going to tell you right now, politically speaking, if you go to these things, you get fucking treated better. You get higher contract levels. These guys in the uplines want to see your face there, and they want you to just be a part. It's just like that, man. So go to the events, kiss some ass for the next year, and let's build an organization so we can get out of the field, man. The first company I worked at, the kid was 28 years old, American Income Life. He had like 9 organizations already. He does 80 to 100 grand a week. He pulls up in a Bentley, about so tall, real built, good looking dude, Simon Aries, and the kid was amazing. Just unbelievable that this kid was that young. And when he spoke in front of the crowd, it was a maturity that was beyond his years of being 28. Now he's 30-something years old or something. $500,000 home. One of the hottest wives you'll ever see. He's got the world by the balls, but he worked his tail off. Just a kid from Ohio that worked his tail off. There's no question we can do the same, but we do need to start talking to some people, and there are people out there that need this opportunity. What opportunity am I talking about? This right here, what we're doing, what we just did today, because this education is what you guys need. Hey, listen, this one webinar may have not embedded this all into you, and that's why repetitiveness on this. So, Rob, I really could use your help. If we can get these things onto YouTube, man, we can really have people up, you know, just send them to that link and get people studying there. I have to find the link or just create another one. So the kid that was doing it for me, I don't know where it's at, and he doesn't have a password. I don't even know what email he used to create it, so it's hard to find. But any more questions, guys? I guess that's it for today. We're good. I will see you guys next week. If you remember AIG, get that with Alyssa ASAP, and stay on top of your if you got like if you're new and you need your carriers, make sure you contact them, get all your carriers in order. So I will see you guys next week. And Jeremy, if you need me to do this in the middle of the week, get that team together so we can get them on a webinar sometime. I'll do it whenever it's convenient. Okay. All right, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you.